Now we are ready to begin modeling the intermediate part called wheel, and this is step 1. On this screen you see the directions, along with a pictorial view. Now before we leave this screen, I do want to point out a couple items in the view. Notice we have 2 fillets as shown in red. Those same 2 fillets are also applied on the opposite side of the part. Let's go to the next screen. On this screen, we have the same directions along with the 2 drawing views. Now the directions tell us that this part is going to be created in millimeters. The part origin is arbitrary, and the material is 1060 alloy. We have 3 dimension values for dimensions A, B, and C, and we can locate those dimensions in the drawing view. Dimension A, Dimension B, and Dimension C. We also have a note here stating all geometry is symmetrical about the line labeled G. Looking at the drawing view, here's our line labeled G, which means all geometry is symmetrical about this vertical center line. Now looking at this part, it lends itself nicely to the revolve feature. Follow my cursor. We can create this profile and revolve it about this center line. And that would pretty much complete the part. The only items I would not include in the sketch profile is the fillets. My practice is to add the fillets as features and add them last in the feature manager tree. So let's go to SolidWorks and create this part. First, I want to verify I'm working in the correct units, and I am. Next, I'm going to start a new sketch. Now because the part origin is arbitrary, it doesn't matter which plane you select. I'm going to select the right plane, and I am going to start by creating a couple center lines. I'm going to create the horizontal center line first, followed by a vertical center line. Let's go ahead and fit this to the screen. And now I'm ready to begin sketching the profile. Now because that profile is symmetrical about the vertical center line, there's no need to sketch the entire profile. I can sketch one half of it, apply my relations and dimensions, and then mirror it about the vertical center line. So there's my basic profile. Let's zoom out a bit. I'm going to tap the S key, go to my dimensions. Now I'm going to start with this first dimension here. This is diameter 30. Now notice I selected the line, next the center line, and this is the radius, which would be 15. I always like to create my sketches using the same dimensions as shown on the data I'm working from. Since that was provided as a diameter 30, if I move my cursor below the center line, it switches over to a diameter dimension. Key in 30. This next dimension is 45. And if you recall, this angle here is 10 degrees. We have a thickness here of 5 millimeters. And I'm going to put this angle dimension in next, and that is 5 degrees. We have a C diameter dimension of 165. And this last dimension here is 150. Now notice the sketch is not fully defined. What I'm missing here is the dimensions A and B. The dimension from here to the opposite side and from here to the opposite side. I am going to mirror it first, then I'll apply the 2 dimensions. So I'm going to go to my Mirror Entities command, select the geometry, go over to the Property Manager, and mirror about this vertical center line. Close out of the Property Manager, and add the last 2 dimensions. This is dimension A of 50 millimeters. And this last one here, dimension B of 75. And that completes our sketch profile. Notice it's fully defined. Now before we conclude this, once again I want to mention that you could place your fillets in the sketch. However, when you are taking the CSWA exam, I believe it's better to keep your sketches simple That way, if your mask does not match up with one of the choices, it's easier to go back and troubleshoot a simple sketch. I am going to add these radiuses in as a fillet feature.